So, hello everyone. Thanks again for coming out today and braving the weather to support the Women's March Niagara. Last fall, I spoke to Laureate and Carrie Porter about trying something different with this year's march. You see, despite their very best efforts, I really felt like a square peg trying to fit into a round hole at the last two marches. As you know, the Women's March itself is being hotly debated in the media right now with charges of anti-Semitism and racism. And it has driven home the message, once again, that the idea of a monolithic womanhood, or that people coming together from disparate backgrounds, finding unity or even commonality, is a very difficult, nay impossible task. We live in a world that, despite our interconnectedness, is very segregated. We may move in the same spaces occasionally, thanks to work and even social events, but what we really don't do is interact in an honest way with each other. We speak pleasantries and fill spaces with banalities until we return to the safety and comfort of our own groups. Chances are, if you're a liberal, you comfort yourself with these meaningless interactions to buoy your false perception that you're open, not racist, not ableist, not homophobic, and not transphobic. But if any of that were the case, wouldn't you have more than the most cursory interactions with those who are different from you? The truth is, the dominant group always contains the largest, loudest, and most powerful voices, and together they serve to drown out the experiences of marginalized people. It is for this reason that when Teg and I planned this march, we decided that we would subvert the norm and allow those who are marginalized to be the dominant voice. I stand before you today as a straight, cisgender, disabled Black woman. This is who I am, and it affects how I am perceived and the ease or difficulty with which I am able to move through various spaces. As a founder of the Niagara Region Anti-Racism Association, I can tell you unequivocally that racism is a problem in this city, this region, this country, and this world, because we are not now, nor have we ever been, post-racial. Even the most well-meaning white person can choose at any time to assert their privilege, and believe me when I tell you that they do on a regular basis. It has become the norm for racialized people to bear their pain in order to educate white people about our lives and white supremacy. Each time we do so, it comes at a cost, and more often than not, our pain is ignored or denied. I stand before you only 2 generations removed from chattel slavery. And my family still does not have justice, and we do not have equality. I struggle to remind myself every day that I am someone's dream come true, because I have more freedom than Ma Moogie, my great-grandmother who was born a slave. But I am still haunted. I know that the master will not sell my precious sons away for me, but that doesn't mean that the state, which has a long history of separating racialized children from their mothers and handing them over to white women to raise, will not continue the work of the dissolution of Black families. My children will not be beaten or punished for learning to read or write, but that does not mean that they will not be given texts which teach them about themselves or their history from a liberation point of view at school, because white supremacy has a vested interest in rewriting history. I can travel freely without having to worry about the slave catcher running me down with his horse and his dogs. But this doesn't mean that every time I see a cop, I don't have to pause with caution and worry. My body supposedly belongs to me alone, but that doesn't stop white people from treating me like it's a petting zoo, roaming their hands over me and freely touching my hair. I can enter any restaurant I want and order food and drink, but that doesn't mean that the staff and the other patrons won't stare and do their level best to let me know that I don't belong in that space. I am the eternal other, destined to always be reminded of that fact. You know, I remember my feminist clique moment. The moment when I understood that patriarchy would always be something harmful in my life. I remember becoming extremely passionate and quickly immersing myself in feminist texts, organizing, and activism. In my youth and naivete, I thought that feminism would be my shelter from the storm, a place where I could come together with others to fight the good fight. But it was not long before I was disillusioned. Once again, your feminism will be intersectional or it will be bullshit, right? Well, it's bullshit. Mute R. Kelly scored a huge victory this week when Sony RCA finally dropped this pedophile, rapist, abuser from its roster. It was a win that was quite literally years in the making. R. Kelly has been abusing black women and girls for well over 30 years now, and no one gave a damn because he chose to prey upon black girls and women. Where were the white women with their pussy hats, their supposedly intersectional feminism to fight this predator? Where were the tears that white women are so damn famous for crying for the lost innocence, the pain, and the horror? I'll tell you where. They were busy attempting to colonize Me Too and spinning some more bullshit about sisterhood and coming together. When Lady Gaga recorded Do What You Want, where were the white women calling her out for recording with a serial abuser? When she said that she recorded with R. Kelly because both of them have had false things printed about them in the media, where were the white women screaming about believing victims? I'll tell you where they were. They were fucking nowhere. But when Sandra Bland was killed under suspicious circumstances in police custody, why was it left to black women to scream the clarion call of say her name? Say her name, goddammit. Her name was Sandra Bland and she mattered. If we're sisters, why is it that it's left for black women alone to talk about the risk we face every time we get pregnant due to our higher mortality rates thanks to racism? But we're sisters, right? Serena Williams, the best female tennis player in the world, almost died, and still no one gives a damn. What chance does a poor black single mother have? But you can quote bell hooks and Audre Lorde like the back of your hand. Why don't the names Rakia Boyd, Michelle Cusseau, Tanisha Anderson, Shelley Frey, Yvette Smith, and Eleanor Bumpers flow as easily from your lips? All women who have been subject to police violence or have died. Your feminism will be intersectional or it will be bullshit. Well, it's bullshit. My story, my truth, isn't the stuff of sisterhood and bonding. My story is of being the square peg trying to fit into the round hole. I'm here today to tell you that I'm done. I cannot fit, and I don't want to fit in spaces which you have created to make me small, to tame my wild kinky coils, and silence the very essence of who I am, so that you may stand on my shoulders and the shoulders of other marginalized people like myself. I will not give you my labor freely. I will not tell my story for your edification. I will not laugh at your jokes. I won't nurse your babies, and I sure as hell won't wipe your tears. You want sisterhood? You earn it. You have hundreds of years to make up for, and the debt grows daily. The choice is yours. Your feminism will be intersectional, or it will be bullshit. Thank you.